Thank you for joining us. Today's webinar is on the topic of protecting your business from cyber attacks. So how can you protect your business? You cannot protect something which you don't know anything about. So let's see what is cybersecurity and what are the things which you need to protect it against. So let's start by taking a quick look at cybersecurity. It is the practice of protecting the systems, networks, and other forms of your digital data from attacks. They are usually aimed at, destroying the information, or somebody is trying to make money out of that. That's the goal. You need to have certain precautions, policies, protections, procedures to mitigate these type of risks. So let's take a quick look at an overview of what type of attacks are common. The first and foremost attack, or the attack surface, is email. So if you are getting an email which is not from an authorized source, or you are not expecting that to be an authorized source, they are sending you some links, attachments, or something of that sort, then it is called phishing. So the definition of phishing is, they are trying to get some information like passwords or something like that through emails. And nowadays, most common is SMS or text messages. And these information are used to send spam to you as well as your contact people, and compromise these accounts and steal information and make money. This is an example of phishing, which is Instagram is sending you an email saying that somebody is trying to access your account and sign in here, and never click on that link. And that is one example. Texting is something like this. Your Amazon account is compromised, or you need to click on this, and make sure that the link which you're seeing is actually from the company which you are expecting that email from or the text from. It is something which is saying Netflix, and the user account name is accntnetflix.com. Anybody can register a domain. It need not be Netflix itself. Another example is, the emails are usually designed to get money or something of value, like your personally identifiable information. And it is something which looks like it is coming from within your organization or somebody you trust. But most likely it is not that party. And it can create a panic or a sense of urgency. For example, if it is coming from IRS, which definitely IRS will not send you an email. They send you mail by snail mail or letters. That's the only way they communicate. They don't send you email. This is another example. It is the good old trick from Nigeria, and that is a very old trick nowadays. Old days it was just asking you to send money, but nowadays they ask you to send email or click on certain links. Another type of attack is on malicious websites. They are sometimes listed in Google search results. You may be searching for something and you end up going to this particular site. It can also affect some legitimate websites to serve malicious ads like Google. And tech support scams are very common. They are asking you to log into certain or download and install certain software, ask you to click on that, and give them access to the computer. These SEO Trojans, search engine optimization Trojans, they are also very common malicious website. For example, your computer is displaying an error message. You are trying to find out what type of error message it is. You just copy and paste it on Google, and these sites show up. Most common or most notorious type of attack is ransomware attacks. What is ransomware? It is another form of malware which encrypts your file and all the files you access within the network. The safest option is restore from backups, or worst case, pay the ransom. Many of the businesses are paying ransom nowadays because there is no other way. Their backup is not useful. It is often used by state actors or criminal organizations. It's a huge business on its own. And I recommend never pay the ransom. If you are paying ransom, they are going to ask for more business, or they are going to come back and haunt you. Once you pay the ransom, they are not leaving you. Report it to local law enforcement or the other governmental organization, which is used by FBI, is called ic3.gov, and you can report it to them. This is a sample screen of a ransomware attack. It is giving you certain time, number of hours. Within that time, you pay that. So this may be what you are thinking. It can hurt if I click on that, open the attachment, or click on that link, right? It hurts. And how can you stay safe? This is the meat of this webinar, how we are going to stay safe. First and foremost, you need to find what you have, or how much valuable is your data is. So that is the first task. We call it assess the risk. It is like insurance company insuring your home or auto. They are going to assess the risk. It is just like that. You have to establish a baseline and find out what are your existing gaps or existing vulnerabilities. Always have an annual assessment. Annual assessment is very much required or mandatory for many compliance requirements like HIPAA or many other CMMC and all that. And second thing is making sure that the users or the employees are aware of the risks. How can you make sure? Train them. It is training which matters the most in the whole of cybersecurity. That's the reason why I have listed it as the second most important way of protection. You can have all your firewalls, software, antivirus software, everything, but at the end of the day, if the user allows a perpetrator to get in, it is gone. So an ounce of prevention goes a long way. So what can you do? Train your users often. Every week, a small snippet of training is good. Teach them about data security, email, phishing attack, whatever I have listed earlier. You can teach about those and make sure that they understand your policies and procedures. Once in a while, fake phish exercises. It is very important so that they understand they fall for it or not. This is very important. Another thing is you're training the users, but now let's try to prevent spams. Let's prevent spams first. It is very easy to say, but secure email from spam and train them not to reply to spam messages, and never post email addresses publicly. Don't use your work email on your Facebook account. Installing spam filtering tools and antivirus software is very important. Spam filtering tools are a great first step in preventing spam, but that's not the final step. The hackers or the people who write these spam messages, they are getting smarter, and with AI, it is even getting worse. And many of the spam filtering can prevent up to certain extent of the messages, but not all. And entering work email addresses on platforms outside work is very risky. So never do that. Let's talk about most important another way of protection. It is called passwords. It is the key to your kingdom. And never use 1234 or password as your password. By default, your off-the-shelf Wi-Fi router comes with a default password. Change it immediately. And now businesses must have a password policy. It should say that it should have certain complexity, it has certain expiration, and it has some sort of, not sharing passwords. This is very important as well. So I never use any of these stuff, kids or pets name, favorite movie and all that. And finally, use something called passphrase. It is not a single word. It is a series of multiple words, and with alphabets and numeric values and special characters in them. Why complexity matters? This is a screenshot from Hive Systems, which is they released it recently. And this shows the number of characters. As the number of characters increases, the difficulty to get a hack or get it compromised is increasing. So if it is only a 4-character password, instantly they can, any type of password, they can instantly compromise it. And as the complexity goes, 10, 12 characters, it is going to increase the difficulty. That's very important. My recommendation is always at least 12-character password. So how do you secure them? How do you store these passwords? Are you using post-it notes and keeping it under the keyboard? Are you using the same password at multiple locations, multiple websites where you routinely access, and save it in the browser? How often you change them, these passwords? Do you change these passwords? And do you use the password managers? Password managers come in different flavors. There are some free, some of them are paid. Some of them comes with the browsers. I recommend never use them. You can use them, but it should be a second option. It is not your only password manager. There are some password managers which can install a plugin onto the browser and can store the password outside of the browser. So another way of hardening the password complexity or passwords is multi-factor authentication. So what is multi-factor authentication? It is something you are, something you know, and something you have. Something you are is your username, something you know is your password, and something you have, it is a token generated from a cell phone or a key device which can plug in the computer to secure it. So this MFA, wherever possible, use that for your email, network, social media, bank websites, any financial companies, it is mandatory to have a second factor authentication. If your bank is not providing second factor authentication for accessing your account, change your bank. Another most important thing is backups. Keep an offsite backup which is inaccessible from your network. It's offsite, so it should be, if hacker gets into your company network, they should not be able to access the backup. If you're using emails, Google or Microsoft 365, or even a standalone email server, make sure that you back it up. There is a rule called 3-2-1 rule. It says 3 copies of your data in 2 different media types and 1 copy which is offsite. So if your computer has a backup or data storage within it, it should be having a backup which you can take it on a separate NAS device locally, and an offsite, which is the cloud backup. Another important thing is the firewall. Always invest in a good firewall. For businesses, you need to have something called unified threat management, which is not just firewall, which added content filtering, intrusion detection, and VPN. And many UTM vendors also give an optional antivirus built into that, so that it can scan all the incoming and outgoing data for virus and prevent it from getting it installed on your computers. And many UTMs also have something called data link prevention methods. So if somebody is trying to send a social security number in an email, it will block that. Antivirus is the old term. It is old antivirus and anti-malware. It may still work, but artificial intelligence has enhanced this antivirus to give you a real-time experience or real-time prevention of viruses. They act against fileless, which are common type of attacks nowadays, and script-based threats, and even rollback in the case of a ransomware attack. And software updates. If you're a Microsoft Windows user, every second Tuesday of the month, Microsoft releases patches and you are forced to install it. Always make sure that you have current supported software, whether it is Mac, PC, or even phones. You update the software and whenever it is prompted. It is not just the operating systems, the browsers, Adobe, if you're using Adobe Acrobat or PDF Reader, make sure that you install that updates whenever prompted. Java is also very critical. If you're a Java user, you know that it is often prompted to install Java or update Java. Similarly with antivirus and anti-malware, they also, if you're using a traditional AV tool, make sure that it is updated whenever possible, whenever it is available, sorry. And the motto should be patch, and update. Next is about the gateway security. Now, cloud-based security detects web and email threats as they emerge. It is protecting you from accessing the bad sites, which are malware sites, or phishing sites. Another called command and control sites, where if you are getting infected by a ransomware, the ransomware calls these command and control sites, or also called mothership. It talks to that, and that's how they communicate with you. Next one is SIM and log management. So what is SIM? Security information and event management. What does it do? It will probe if you are being attacked. That's the primary goal. And every transaction is logged and make sure that it is kept for later. If you want to do a later analysis, they have kept it. Analysis and reports of log and computers are very important, and they are very crucial in compliance. So if your company needs some sort of compliance, if you're in some sort of compliance requirements like HIPAA or CMMC, you need to have a SIM, and you need to keep the data for a certain period of time. Encryption. What is encryption? Data gets mashed and kept it in a form only it can be opened with only a key, which is the key which is used to lock that. You can use it for data in store, that is on your computer, sending it out emails, or storing it offsite. Any of these type of data must be encrypted. So if it is carrying sensitive data, email, it must be encrypted. USB drives, hard drives also must be encrypted if you're using it. Hard drives on your computer, most of the newer Windows computers come with BitLocker by default. If you are using a Pro operating system, it comes default, and you need to have that enabled. Mobile devices are another thing. Nowadays, a smartphone has more processing capabilities than a desktop computers 5 years, 10 years ago. Mobile devices come with their default encryption method. If your mobile device doesn't have that, make sure that you update your software or hardware. Dark web. So if you're attacked, or if you're by any chance, if you are compromised, where does this data going to be? It is going to be found in dark web, which is a layer below the regular internet. It doesn't have any Google over there, but they have a whole well-established marketplace where you can buy, sell compromised data, everything from there. Credit cards, social security numbers, healthcare information, everything is available there. It is a good practice to do a regular scan of dark web. Why? Because your healthcare provider or your insurance company may be compromised. How do you know if your data is in that? Dark web is the best place to take a look and find out if your data is compromised. That is the importance of dark web. If you find your email in the dark web or it is available for sale, search if it is involved in any sort of data breaches. A good site to check your emails whether it is compromised or not, is the website called Have I Been Pawned? Make sure that the spelling is correct. It is PWNED. You can search your email there. If it is compromised, it will tell you. As I said earlier, mobile device security is very important. Mobile devices are nowadays more processing capability and storage than computers 10 years ago. So they attempt to steal your data by using your phones or tablets. You should protect mobile devices the same way as your computer. If you're using, if employees are provided company devices, it must be managed. There should be a way of managing these devices. If they are using personal devices, limit what they can access and have certain agreements in place where you allow only accessing certain data. And this is the last most important stuff is insurance. I'm sure every business has business insurance. Does your insurance policy cover cyber liability? If you're not sure, find out from your insurance agent. What will your policy cover if the business is attacked? Does it cover loss of productivity or anything like ransomware payment? If your business is not running and you need time to recover data, will it provide money for restoring the data? All these questions, various questions need to be asked to the insurance agent. And that's it. Finally, if you want to make this, get a summary of this, go to this link. It is 15 ways to secure your business in the cyber world, and find out more about this presentation. If there are any questions, I'm open for questions. Okay, I don't see any questions here. Thank you very much for watching and have a great day.